Yeah, and so Ben, let me ask you a question, just so our people can get to know you better. What were you doing before Fireside, and what caused you to stop doing that and start doing this?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. So, a couple of things, Gar. So, in my past, I had a mix of entrepreneurial experiences, but also ministry. And so, I was a student pastor for about 12 years. And I also, on the side, would buy daycare centers throughout the Southeast. And so, we would beef those up, beef the revenue up, because typically the owner, is still working in the business and not own it. And so, we would automate the system and scale those things, and we were able to run 10 centers at one time. So we did that and student ministry.
Awesome. Yeah, and it kind of leads me to another question, but I'm not going to ask it because let's stay in focus. Actually, it's interesting that you say that you guys would buy daycare centers and automate them. And I know that's something that you wanted to make sure we touch on today is automation. And because a lot of people that come in hear about the fireside opportunity, you're looking for maybe semi-passive or passive opportunities, and you love the fireside opportunity because it's other people's assets, it's low overhead, it's low startup cost. Uh, but once you start to learn the business model, you get a little bit concerned about, okay, this sounds like a lot of work. How am I going to do this? And Ben, I did it with our first location, automation. We have several of our franchises that are running automated. Ben, you have little to nothing to do with your franchise. And before you came into Fireside, you bought daycare systems and you automated them. Why don't you speak about that a little bit? Automation. Speak to that. Really, I would say the fear, because at the end of the day, it all comes down to faith that God's going to work it out, or fear that I don't understand how this is going to happen. Why don't you speak to a little bit as far as the fear of, oh my gosh, I'm about to buy myself a job.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question too. So I did realize that it's easier to run 10 centers than it is one on the daycare side. And I noticed that a lot of franchisees, like if they own a Subway or whatever franchise, uh, I would hear that they would have like 25 locations. And I'm like, how are you doing that? And they would hire somebody to oversee that particular location. And so I know in like Fireside's case, I kind of looked at some of the moving pieces, and thankfully I had Jason Stevenson there to when I'd fall, he could help pick me up. And what I started seeing is that hey, there's taking that reservation, there's delivering for that reservation, and then there's the pickup of that reservation, and then the clean of that unit. And so I'm like, wait, those components are pretty simple to automate. So Fireside Plus takes our reservation, and then we have a bullpen of drivers, and we're able to use now what's called Whip Around. It's a software that we use to where we're able to assign a reservation to a delivery driver as well as a cleaner. And so if they decline, I've got a bullpen. So assign it to a different driver, and that driver will do that delivery. And again, assign the cleaning to that cleaner, and they decline, put another one in, and then they clean that unit, and then it's rinse and repeat pretty much from there. Obviously, there's the other thing that kind of threw me for a loop was more of the maintenance side, but I just have a local RV tech that pretty much has whatever we need done within, I'd say, less than 12 hours. And so since we have a fleet, I feel like he kind of caters to us. And so he gets it done quick. That's being billed to the consignment owner.